Okay, George Hery here again. Today we're going to explore the flip charts. This is the way that Dan Millman, first world amateur trampoline champion, George Hery, first world professional trampoline champion, Dar Robinson, the greatest stuntman in the world, this is how we learned to do tricks. Aerial awareness, body awareness, gymnastics, trampoline, diving, stuntman is in the case of Dar. Most of this came from doing these flip charts. There's over 300 skills listed on the flip charts. Dan Millman, he won a great, nice trophy, and he has a story about that. He says, yeah, I won the trophy, and George won a new Mustang. He says, I still haven't figured out how to drive my trophy. But he was a great world champion, and we have many great world champions in the U.S. back in those days, and hopefully we'll get to that point again. Anyway, the way the flip chart works is each skill that is possible is given a rating of difficulty. Now you can rotate your body forward, and you can go from your feet, you can go from your back, you can go from your stomach, you can go from sitting, you can do a quarter rotation, a half rotation, a three-quarter rotation, a full rotation, etc. You can put a twist on it, a half twist, full twist, 1.5 twist, so on out to 3.5 twists in some cases. And each trick has a point value. If you do the way the point value works, a quarter of a rotation is 1/10 of a point. A half twist is also 1/10 of a point. So for example, if you did a front flip, that would be worth 4/10 of a point. If you did it in tuck position, that's 4/10 of a point. Pike position is 5/10, you get a little bonus, or straight body, you get a little bonus, so it's 5/10. So if you did a tuck front, you would get 4/10 as your point value. If you did a front with a half twist, you would get 5/10. A front with a full twist, you would get 6/10. A Rudy, you would get 7/10, and so on. Okay, we're going to show you the charts, the flip charts, on the screen now, and we'll take you through one of the skills so you can see exactly how this works. Let's, for example, take the forward flip from feet, which would be under rotations. It would be one complete rotation, and you can see under the positions, if the T means tucked, that's worth 4/10. The P means you did it piked. That means it's 5/10 because you got that little bonus, and S means straight, so again you get the 5/10 because you did it with a straight position, you get the little bonus. Going further to the right, we see that if you put a half twist in a front flip, you get the 4/10 for the front flip, and you get another 1/10 for the half twist. So underneath the 1/2 twist you can see 5/10. Following on out to the right, a full twist becomes 6/10. The Rudy, or the 1.5 twisting front flip, is 7/10, etc., right on out the line. This should give you an idea of how to utilize these charts for your students. Now, the way we did it, if you could show complete control of that trick, you got to circle that trick with a red pencil or whatever, and you had your own personal charts. So you kept these in a file, and every night you'd come in, the coach would check you off. If you thought you could do the Rudy, in our situation, you had to really show you had control of the Rudy by doing a flip in front of it, then the skill, and then a flip afterwards. So for a Rudy, you might have to do a back tuck, then a Rudy, and then another back tuck. Then you could circle the 7/10 that you got for the Rudy. Another possibility would be just to show the Rudy with good control 2 or 3 times, and that would work as well. Okay, we're going to take another skill. Now look on the backward flip chart, and look clear down at the bottom where it says backwards from stomach. We're going to rotate backwards off our stomach with 1 1/4 rotations, farthest left side. We can do, that's called the Cody. From your stomach backwards, you go 1 1/4 rotations, landing on your feet. That's called the Cody. Named for a fellow named Dale Cody, who first invented that trick. If you do it tuck position, you get 5/10 of a point because you rotated 1 1/4 rotations. Pike position, 6/10, straight body, 6/10. If you put the half twist on it, you get the 5/10 for the Cody and another 1/10 for the half twist, so it becomes 6/10. A Cody with a full is 7/10. Cody with a 1.5 is 8/10. A double twisting Cody is 9/10 of a point. You're really getting up there in the more difficult skills now. But now you can see pretty clearly how this whole thing's going to work. This should be a great tool for you to use in your gym. Okay, and to further illustrate how you can use this a little bit, this week I learned the front flip piked. So I got 5/10 of a point. That's on the front flip piked. I also learned a full twisting Cody. The full twisting Cody is worth 6/10 of a point. No, I'm sorry. The full twisting Cody is worth 7/10 of a point. So now, this week, I have 1.2 points. I can keep a record of that on my chart, a running total, and next week I might get more points. And if Dan Millman had 1.3, for sure next week I'm going to work hard and get me another point so I can be ahead of him. This was how we learned, and this was just fantastic. So you can use these, keep a running total for each kid. They can use it as a tool to see how they're progressing and how they're progressing in a fun, friendly competition with all their teammates. Okay, now to really show how this works, we have two great demonstrators here for us today. And on my far right, George Hery Jr. And next to me, one of my students who a year ago was the national level 10 champion on trampoline, Mr. Brett Stansel. Applause, please. All right, we're going to start. George, why don't you start us off here? This week, tonight, at the gym, George learned to do his front flip tucked. And in this particular case, we're going to be easy on them. We're just going to have him make sure that he can do it correctly. He has to show me 2 times really good control on his front tuck. Okay? Front tuck. There's one. That was good. Good control, George. You get 4/10 added to your total. When you go to your chart again, you go down under, that's the front flip, that's forward rotation from the feet, 1 complete rotation. You look under the positions, under T for tuck, it's 4/10. Now Brett, he already had his tuck from last week, and this week he learned the pike front. So we're going to see if Brett can do his pike front with good control 2 times in a row. Very good, Brett. One more. Very good. All right, so Brett gets to circle the 5/10 under the P for pike. So his 5/10 adds to the total. He had a tuck front last week, so this week now he's got 9/10 of a point on his score. All right, now tonight George was pretty hot, and he worked really hard and got a front flip straight body, a laid out front. So we're going to see if he can manage that. No, very good. Okay, very good. So George, now if you look on the sheet under the 1 rotations forward from your feet, look out under the S, and that's the straight body position. It's worth 5/10. So now George has 9/10 of a point. They're tied in their race to see who's going to be the champion of gymdom here. We're going to continue right on across the single flip chart here. Underneath the run rotations, you go on further over. There's a half twist, and that is because you do a front flip, which is 4/10, and a half twist, which is another 10, so you get 5/10 for that. Now we're going to change the game. We're going to make it the way that I had to learn. In order to qualify this stunt and get it circled on your chart, you have to do a swing time into it and a swing time out of it, which means a flip before the trick, then you do the trick, and you do another flip afterwards. That really shows you've got control of it. So Brett's going to show us his front flip with a half twist, but in order to get the points, he has to put a flip in front of it and a flip afterwards. And you can see he made it. 5 more tenths for Brett. Now, George said he thinks he can do a front flip with a full twist. Now, the problem with this is doing something afterwards, because he can't really see where he's landing coming down in a blind landing. So he's going to have to figure out how to really control the front with a full and then be able to add some other flip to it. Let's see if he makes it. And he makes it. Now, let's look on the chart. A front flip with a full twist is worth 6/10. Added to his 9/10, he has 1.5, and he is 1/10 ahead of Brett. The rivalry is beginning. And thank goodness these guys are great friends, and it's a friendly rivalry, okay? But this is really a way to promote getting better. Brett has worked so hard now. He's spent an hour and a half, and he's got a front with a 1.5 twist. Let's see if Brett can make the 1.5 twist. Very good. One more time, Brett. Beautiful. Not only are you seeing how this is going to work, you're also seeing some pretty great trampolining here. Okay, George Jr., if you're going to stay up with Brett here, Brett just scored 7/10. The double twisting front is worth 8/10. Very difficult to land because it is kind of a blind landing. But he makes the first one. I don't know if he had enough control on that one. He's going to have to try that again tomorrow night. We're going to go one more step here in the forward flip chart, going down to the next level, which is flipping forward from your back. And let's go down under the rotations to 1 1/4 rotations off your back. This would mean you would land on your feet. So in order to flip in front of it, you would do a 3/4 front, and then you do the trick, and then you'd have to flip afterwards. Let's just have the boys show the trick, and if they make it, we'll give them their points, just for the sake of time here. The 1 1/4 off your back is called the ball out. When you start twisting it, it's called, if you do a front with a half, it's called a Branny ball out. 1 1/2 is the Rudy ball out, etc. George, why don't you start us off here? We're going to do the 1 1/4 forward from our back in the tuck position. And you can see this is worth 5/10 because he rotates around 5 quarters. Okay, very good. You get the 5/10. Brett's consented to try the pike ball out, and he gets the extra bonus 10th for doing it piked. The 6/10 goes to Brett. Okay, now we're going to put the we're going to do the ball out, worth 5/10. We're going to put a half twist on it, gives it 6/10 of a point. Okay, George Jr., let's see the Branny ball out. Very good. 6/10 for George. Brett has consented to do the blind landings this time. Here's the ball out with a full twist. Oh, very good. And it's even possible to do a ball out with 1 1/2 twist. And we'll see here if George can handle that one. And he makes it. Okay, so you kind of understand how these tricks go out through the line. Okay, we're going to do one more thing here. Move on down one more notch to the forward from stomach or kaboom. And we're going to have George Jr. show us the... we'll do 3/4 of a rotation forward, which would be landing from the stomach around, landing on the feet. And George, just do the stomach drop, front flip to the feet. And so we've already talked in other lectures about kabooms, but can you show us a kaboom front to the feet? Okay, we'll have him do the kaboom front to the feet. Here he lands on the chest, and then the feet hit, and it sends him around forward. Do one more of those. Jump backwards into it. And that's the kaboom action where he lands on the chest first and then the feet, and it sends him forward. Brett's going to put a half twist on this. Now, the front off the feet, from the stomach to the feet, is only 3/4 of a rotation, so it's worth 3/10. So for all that hard work and all of that difficult awareness that George had to work on to get that trick, it's only worth 3/10. But it gives him 3 more tenths. Here's Brett doing it with a half twist. This is worth 4/10. Very good. And it's okay if you put a little trick in front of the stomach drop landing. It doesn't matter. He could do a front flip or 1 1/4 flips, land on his stomach, and then do the trick. How about trying a front with a full, Brett? Here, if you look out on the sheet, this goes out to 5/10. And front with a full twist. Okay. Additional things here, you can see there's side flips. And you don't see these too often anymore, but it's a great aerial awareness thing and a great thing to learn. You can use this on the floor. You might use it off any apparatus as well. And here's Brett doing a tucked side flip. 4/10 for Brett. George is going to do it piked. He may straddle it, and I'll give him credit if he straddles and does pike straddle. Very good, very good. We can also twist side flips. Now this may be Brett's first attempt at ever doing this, but here is a side flip with a half twist. All right, very good. Great aerial awareness here. And George, a side flip with a full twist. Okay, let's go on to the backwards rotation. The next sheet, backwards flips, and we'll go through each or several of these things so you can see how this works as well. And I think by the time we're finished with that, you can really have a good feeling for how useful this really is. The boys tonight, they're learning their 3/4 flips backwards. This is a backward flip around to the stomach, stomach landing, and you can do this tucked, piked, straight. We'll show those things, and then we'll put some twisting on it and see how far we can get. So, George, how about a 3/4 tucked? Very good. And Brett, how about a 3/4 piked? And a straight. Just getting these skills. If your students get this type of form and control, how wonderful that is. George, stay out and do a one with a half turn. Now when he sees the trampoline, he's going to do a little half twist. Excellent awareness. You do a full? Brett, do a full? Okay, Brett's going to do the full twist to the stomach. You could kill yourself on that trick. That takes lots of awareness, a lot of great knowledge of where you're at in the air. 1 1/2 twist, Brett. Incredible body awareness, okay? Let's do the single back flip, and we'll go out through the chart here a little bit. A back tuck is worth 4/10. And in order to qualify this time, you got to do it the way we did it. You have to swing a back flip in front of it and a back flip in back of it, or a front flip, either one. So he's doing 3 tricks in a row. The second one is the back tuck he's trying to qualify. Okay, Brett's going to qualify the back pike. And he swings into and out of his back pikes with nice brannies. George, a back straight. tuck, straight, and a granny. Hey, very good. And now comes the back with a half. And this is a difficult thing to work out of. There are several ways of doing back with halves. You can do a back layout with a half twist fairly late. You can do an Arabian, which is starting off backwards. You do a quick half turn, and then you end up going forward into the front flip. So possibly we should show both of those things, and you could give additional credit for each of those, and they'd each be worth 5/10 of a point based on the rules of 4/10 for a flip and 1/10 for a half twist. So George, why don't you show us first just a back with a half, the late twist. And then show us the Arabian. You can see the difference between these two skills. Both back flips with half twist, both worth 5/10 of a point. Brett, back with a full. I'll do a 1.5. Brett's also going to do the 1.5. And George is going to do the double twist. Pardon me? Okay. Yeah, the back with a half was 5/10. Brett's full was worth 6/10. The 1.5, of course, has 3 half turns in it and a somersault, so that's 7/10. Here, the double twisting back flip is worth 8/10 of a point. So we're getting up there in difficulty again. Okay. Also in the, no, we won't make you do 2 tonight. Also in the flipping, as long as you don't do any twists with it, we have the double flips in there. And we probably should show the double flip. Also, the double twist, remember, was worth 8/10 of a point. If you go all the way down to the bottom of the backwards rotations from feet, we see the double flip, 2 flips in the air. Tuck position, George, come and do us a double back tucked. Okay, and that's worth 8/10, the same as his double twisting back flip. If he did it with a pike, it'd be worth 9/10. If he did it straight, that's really hard, so it's worth a full point if you do a double laid out back flip. He's still standing there. Maybe he'd like to try one. Let's see if he can make it. You better go pretty high and flip fast. Double straight. That's worth a full point. Fantastic, you guys. Okay, so you understand. Let's go on down and see what backwards from a back means. Basically, this is a pullover. And from your back, if you flipped around 3/4 of a flip, you'd land on your feet. So Brett, come out and just do a back pullover, tuck position. And then do a back pullover in the pike position. Okay, and these are both fairly simple, so they're both worth 3/10. How about a half twist? Stay out there. This becomes harder. To put a twist on your back pullover is pretty difficult. That's worth 4/10. Full twister is worth 5/10, half a point. Lots of squirming and worming around on that. A lot of aerial awareness from these guys. I mean, I don't know how much you appreciate this, but these guys are aerial awareness experts. Okay, that's backwards from the back. Let's do a backwards from the kaboom. George, you want to do a back kaboom? Okay, we'll stay with the 3/4 rotation. This time they can land on their feet again. The kaboom, again, we land with the upper body first. The lower body hits the trampoline and throws us backwards. And when we did it forward, we hit the upper body, the chest, and then that threw us forwards. So watch as George does the back kaboom in a tuck position. 3/4 back kaboom tucked. You can see that's easy to do piked. It's harder to do straight. Brett, come out and do it with a half twist. Yeah. Back kaboom with a half twist, back kaboom with a full twist. This would be worth 5/10 again. Okay, very good. And then on trampoline we do quite a few tricks off our stomach, going backwards. And again, we call that the Cody. Let's go down in your chart, go down to the backward from the stomach. 1 1/4 flips. That would land you right on your feet. And in order to do this, usually you put a 3/4 back flip in front of that, which we've learned up there in the earlier progressions. George, start us off with a back Cody in a tuck position. Okay, and try one piked. Okay, he gets the 10th bonus, so that's worth 6/10 rather than the 5/10 for the 5/4 rotations. Yeah, do it again. You may have to cut that out. All right, that's fine. That's fine. Can you lay those out, Brett? Huh? Okay, Brett's going to try this with a straight body. 6/10 of a degree of difficulty here. Very nice. If you can stay that straight, you could probably go for a Cody with a full twist. That's 7/10 of a point. 7/10. Very good, Brett. All right. Okay, that gives us a pretty good idea of how to use these point charts, and I think the value of them to track a kid's progress, or for a kid to track his progress, to use it for little fun competitions, motivation in the gym, and what a greater way to get aerial awareness than working on all these skills. And you'll see the kids will use these same skills in their add-a-trick games, and maybe we should just show you have a little contest tonight here and see how that works. So far we've been doing one trick at a time, and of course it's more fun when you do a sequence of skills. And you can use the flip chart concept to kind of calculate a point value for a sequence of skills. And we'll have each of the boys do a sequence of skills and see if we can't figure out what their point value would be for such a thing. You can try this yourself along with us and see how quick you are at calculating those point values. Okay, first we'll have George Jr. here go first. Yeah. Back tuck, full twist, Branny, pike back, and Rudy. Wow. Okay, let's see how much that was worth. Back tuck, 4/10. Back full, 6/10. Branny, 5/10. Back pike, 5/10. Rudy, 7/10. 2.7 if my addition is correct. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll have Brett do a sequence of skills. And I'm sure this one will be a little more difficult for you to calculate quickly. 3/4 back, 3 full twisting Cody, 1.5 twisting Cody, 1.5 full twisting front Cody, and full twist to the feet. Oh my goodness. Were you able to even see all that? Okay, Brett's routine. 3/4 back with a full twist, 5/10. Full twisting Cody to the stomach, 6/10. 1.5 twisting 1.5 Cody to the stomach, 9/10. Full twisting front Cody, 6/10. and full twisting front Cody up to the feet 5/10. Total point value 3.1. All right, we've had a lot of fun with the flip charts. I hope you have too. I hope you've learned something that you can use in your gym and for your programs. The one thing that we haven't worked on at all is form and technique. We were illustrating mostly the flip charts and what you can learn from these as in the way of body awareness, new skills, that type of thing. We do have other DVDs where we do work on the form and technique, and these can be purchased through the website as well. Thank you very much.